Hi, I'm the Super Comadre from RadioCrystalUSA.com, and I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. So, La Super Comadre, my platform is all about bringing people on, special guests, who either do something for the community, who have done something for the community, who match up the pillars of what my show is about, which is about taking care of your heart and soul, which is about political engagement, which is about education. So every person that comes on can be a super comadre or a super compadre, someone that's out there doing something for the community. So I invite you all to listen and to watch every Tuesday when we record the show. But it also repeats on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 10 o'clock at night on RadioCrystalUSA.com. And don't forget to give us a like. Adios.
Macias.
Woo! Woo! Oh my gosh, ¿cómo están todos? Soy la Super Comadre Claudia de RadioCrystalUSA.com, and it's been a while, but I'm back. We're taking a little bit of pauses in between recordings and live streams because, you know, life happens. And as you know, I have girls and they're going to homecoming dances. And also, I just want to say, I want to send a lot of positive energy to the father of my two girls, to Alex, who is recovering, who is healing, who is on a journey to make sure that he is healthy. He's had a couple of health issues, right?
Health issues.
But he's surrounded by family, by friends, by myself and the girls supporting him on this journey of recovery and getting better. So if there's important men in your life, friends and family, please make sure to tell them to go get checked out. Go to the doctor once a year. Get checked out because you want to catch things early. You want to make sure that you're healthy because our goal as leaders, parents, tios, comadres, we're here to make sure that our little ones are growing and learning and doing the best they can, in life. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you a new Super Comadre. Today we are giving her La Corona and the cape of La Super Comadre. This is Gloria Lopez. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful and thankful to be here. Thank you, Claudia, for having me as part of this and as part of your world. I am just so excited. And recently we have connected with the fundraiser, the Loteria fundraiser that I just had with LITTLEGREATVIDA. So I am the founder of LITTLEGREATVIDA, a new organization / vlog that highlights Latino stories. And the goal is for it to be highlighted, our stories as Latinos in a more intimate way. So that's what it's about. And it's about recognizing who we are as Latinos, really.
Nice. That is so needed. And before you give more information on this amazing project, mission, I want to say mission. It's a mission.
Yes, it is.
I want to know the story behind the person that created this place, this time, this moment for people to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Because our stories aren't always told and preserved the way they should.
No.
But I want to know about Gloria.
Yeah.
Gloria's story. Tell the listening audience, because every person that comes on to La Super Comadre Claudia show, it's about elevating someone that's doing an amazing thing in the community. You and I connect through children, schools, education.
Yes.
You and I connect through getting out there and doing things for La Comunidad. But I want to know what inspired you, Gloria, to create this.
Yes.
And then just share.
Yeah.
Because people want to know the story behind the person creating this
behind it.
amazing thing.
Yeah. So it started really like we both have, we work in the community within the Latino community here in Houston. And for me, it started as a child. It actually started with recognizing injustice. And I really never knew why I really would like question things, and I'll be like, but that doesn't seem right, but that doesn't feel right. Well, why are they making these choices, or why are they impacted in this way that's not serving them well, but they're impacted in a more positive light, right? So I really never spoke about it, but I felt it. And it came from that place of like, like this is not going okay. So I grew up in a neighborhood where I did recognize injustice, where I did recognize that gap in between those who were well served and those who weren't really served. So I realized that growing up, and from there, I really started to step into with who I was and who I am, and which led me to actually, because I know we both share like the creative, that creative side of ourselves, which was through theater for me, which I found my voice through the arts as a child. So I was involved with the arts. For me, it was always through education. My teacher was like, you have something there. There's a talent there. So from there, that inspired me because I was seen, then. And I was like, wow, okay, someone notices me. Someone sees me. And from there, it just went and went. And I experienced injustice in the theater too, because I was where there was, majority, there was very small population of Latinos in that theater as a child. And I remember, the kids saying like, well, tell those Spanish kids to do this or say this, or maybe the Spanish kids should do this part,
like stereotyping.
Exactly.
Instead of allowing for the character to be developed and carried no matter who it is.
Who you are, no matter your culture background. So, back then it wasn't, it still was a thing where we weren't recognized even more so. And from there it went. And I was like, I recognize, and that just hit my heart. So from there I was like, wow, this really, maybe there's a reason behind this. And then from there I majored in theater. I went to, college, majored in theater, and went from there. And then I ended up working at Talento Bilingüe. And from there, like, I was like, okay, well, this is a Latino community. I'm in it and representing our children, our Latino kids. And I was there and worked with their summer arts camp. I did put on a show. It was just so fun being there at Talento Bilingüe and knowing the history behind it. I was like, okay, this is all me. So, so I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm in a good place. And so I ended up doing that, working with the kids in the Latino community here in Houston at Talento Bilingüe. And then I ended up becoming a teacher. That's when I took my step into being like, okay, well, maybe I'm working with kids, so let me get paid well for this. So I ended up becoming a theater teacher down the line, and then working in the East End. Then I ended up working for Austin High School, where I started their theater program then. Yay, Austin High School. And we started with, recognizing our kids again and again, wanting them to find their voice, their identity, who they were, and just learning about the arts as well. So it was all of those things. And now, well, aside from that, at the time I was in a relationship that wasn't the best. And things happen in life. I always feel like they happen for a reason.
Yes, they do.
And it was just not the best relationship that I had during that time, unfortunately. So from there, after that breakup, I was just distraught. As many of us women have experienced, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try to go on a spiritual journey.
Okay.
So I did. And I was guided through a friend of mine who I trusted to actually take a step into the spiritual path. It was a practice. If you ever heard of Reiki, that's what Reiki. It's a healing. Okay. Yes, a healing practice. And I actually had a session with a healer, if you will. And from there,
would you say in español un curandero?
Basically a curandero, same idea, yes. And actually, this person practiced in Mexico.
Really?
How funny. Yeah. Oh wow. I never. Okay, yeah.
So you got
healing
from a curandera.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did that, and I had an experience from that. And I recognize, what is a real meaning of life, because, with my past and the trauma, that happened, I was like, okay, like I need to figure it out. Because I knew a lot of the reasons of why things were happening, because I was aligning myself to them, because I wasn't working on the healing, and
what was when you decided I need to do this healing, and you went all the way to Mexico, and you had that, I guess the catalyst was the breakup, right?
Yes.
Okay. but what, and I think this is a super important thing to I want to go backtrack because there's so many young girls. And I know that October, I think, is Domestic Violence Month.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
And that could take that could take many roads. It could be verbal abuse, it could be physical abuse, or if you feel uncomfortable, please reach out. Not that I'm saying this will happen to you, but I think for me, especially for young girls to hear, regardless of the severity, it's going to be severe for anyone, for everyone, whatever it is that's happening. But what made you finally say, and you don't have to share what it was that would happen, but did you receive a sign that said, okay, look, you got to get out of this? Yeah. Or did you see something? Did someone else tell you, hey girl, you gotta get moving?
Right.
Did it come to you through prayer? Did it come through from a family member? How did you know? What did you know? What did you hear when you said, okay, I think I'm done.
It's time. Yeah. Really, it was from the breakup. I had signs because I always hear like people who are the closest to you will let you know if that person is good for you or not. And I did have family who were like, hey, this person, I don't know if they're good for you. I don't know about them, what their choices and the way that they are working with you, the things that are happening are just not really the best for you right now.
And what was your response to that?
I was in love. You're in love. Your love is blind. That's so true. Especially when you're young, and you want to be wanted. You want to feel, that intimacy. You want to feel loved and all that stuff. But, I had to realize like, no, this is not right. Yeah. And this person just literally showed all of the things that, that I really needed, is because of the healing, that wasn't happening. And the things that I needed to work on personally, that self-love wasn't happening. So, this person literally was a reflection of like the things, that I needed to work on.
The parts of you that needed to be healed.
Yeah, it
traumas,
was almost, darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. And all of the things in a way that was kind of like manifested into this person at that time. Okay. And I realized, and then after that, I made choices that weren't the best either after that relationship. And then that's when I went to the healer.
And how did you get connected to that? How did you know to go there? How did you know that was there another sign? Did you read it somewhere? Did it come to you? How did you know where to go and who to talk to?
Yeah. So it was a friend of mine, and I'm very close to them. Mm-hmm. And this person works in like the spiritual world, if you will, under that umbrella of healing. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, who do you know? And they're like, well, I go to this person and it's helped me. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, if you do it, then okay, maybe this would be something that's going to help me and open my eyes and help me see, because at that time I was just a mess. Yeah. And I was like, this is just not like going well. And if I keep going down this path, I'm going to end up in a rabbit hole. Yeah. So, it was through that person, through my friend, that I was just like, okay, like I need to do it too. And I was just looking up stuff, to be honest with you,
just to figure
like
it out,
things, just to figure it out,
And I think this is so important. What you're sharing is reaching out. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, even within our Latino community, you don't want to share. Tienes vergüenza. You're like, and you start thinking, how did I not see that? Yep. Or why would I? Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. How can I have put myself through that? Right? Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you're sharing something, your story right now is hopefully going to touch the ears and the hearts of some young girls that maybe deep down inside, they might not, they don't see it, but other people see it.
Exactly.
And hearing, and it's so hard. You're right. When you're in love and you want to feel all that, you don't want to acknowledge it.
You don't.
And then, and I don't know about you, but then later on you're like, damn.
Yep.
I remember that.
Dang, I was who was I? Because where you are now, you're like, who was I?
Now let's go now. Yeah. And today, you, Gloria Lopez, sitting next to me with this amazing mission of Little Great Vida. What is it that you think was the biggest, I guess, I don't want to say lesson. Well, maybe lesson.
Lesson.
The biggest lesson you walked away with, because even though it was, I don't know about you. I mean, as you're sharing, I'm thinking about myself in a fetal position, crying over some dumb guy, right?
Yeah.
Not eating, getting super sick. Like defenses going down
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you're so into someone and you finally realize, okay, this is it, we're done, and then it's like your body also reacts.
Yeah.
Besides your heart,
Right.
and the tears, right?
Yeah.
So what was the biggest lesson
Yeah.
now that you're sitting here and looking back at what you went through? What did you walk away with?
Yeah, from that was really, gosh, learning to, I think, acknowledge my feelings and see things for what they are.
Yeah.
Not putting it on the back burner,
Yeah.
not saying that, really not saying that, okay, like Gloria, like, oh, it's just gonna pass. I really had to acknowledge what was, because like you said, you want to be like, no, that's not what it is, but this is working out because of this, or this is working out because they showed this, but really we're not wanting to see right behind that curtain, that veil.
The wizard, like in the Wizard of Oz. Like we know it's being, like, but you don't know. You don't know what's behind here. You don't. Yeah. It's amazing though how everyone else can see it.
Yeah.
Which
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Which is why it's so hard to and then your friends or your family, they don't want to hurt you either, right?
Yeah.
Because they see you really happy and they're like, I don't know, maybe it'll work out. Because he does have other qualities.
Right.
Yeah.
That was it.
At least he doesn't do this.
Yep.
But in the end, when you step back and look at the whole picture.
Yeah. That's what it is. And that's what it was. Taking myself out of the third person perspective. Yeah. Putting myself in the third person perspective was what it was. And that's really what it was for me. And then also like just knowing that I have to learn to love myself.
Yes.
And it's still a journey for me, still to this day, because of the traumas, aside from just that relationship, other things as a child, so that we put on the back burner, like you said, just like in our Latino communities, we put it on the back burner. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. And that's part of why I chose what I chose down the line, and those choices that I made was because of all of those moments in my life. So it was really me being like, okay, Gloria, you need to work and live yourself. And really, I wish that we're taught in life.
In schools,
yes, is self-love.
Self-love,
is who are you? Who are you underneath all of that? Yeah. Who are you? Don't put it into someone else. Don't put your identity,
into work, a person.
Work.
I tell my girls too, like you are not you're not defined by your talent or your profession. You are you. Yeah. Because you are you are the nucleus. Yes. Anywhere you go, you make things happen. Whether you want to do this over here, you want to go that, but it's you. Yeah. That's hard though, as a mom, because I have my own things that I have to like stop and like, okay, Claudia, like you're the best. Yeah, right. Yeah. But no one ever told you that when you're little. Yeah, right. Exactly. You just and then when your friends tell you, and I have an amazing friend that's sitting in front of me, who always shares that with me. Mary Ann's in the house. She'll be coming up with the Hey Podcast after this. But it's and when I saw her walking in right now before off camera, I even smiled I was already smiling in my head because she reminds me of what you're saying about having those people around you. Yeah. That are going to, call things out that might feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And we need that. And we need to share that with our daughters and our young men too, our sons. Yes. Like, love yourself, listen to you first, and align some people that you could be vulnerable to. Yes. That you're going to be okay with them telling you, you know what, dude, that's not for you. You know what, Comadre, you might want to. Yeah. Here's a little bit. You take it how you want to, but this is what I'm seeing. Because sometimes we need that. Yes. That like slap. Slap. Wake up, chica. Yeah. So that's your story. Yeah. Your story is super important because it seems like that's the passion, a little bit of passion that fuels Little Great Vida, which what I want you now is to bring in. Little Great Vida, when was it born? Yeah. And talk about the sign behind us. You had a fundraiser over the weekend for Little Great Vida over at Talento Bilingüe de Houston. Yes.
Went back around.
Yes. Yeah. So talk about, like, is that the first one you did? Are there more to come? Yeah. What are your plans for the funds? What is Little Great Vida Loteria for? And how can we also support that?
Yeah, so thank you. So so basically, Little Great Vida is talking about again, tying into the story, which is funny, those little moments that come to the greatness of really who you become in life and who you are in life. And that's what it's all about. Life is literally, I mean, and through my experience, is a series of these events that you have to learn and grow from in order to end up, and the goal is to do great things and recognize the greatness of who you are.
Yes.
And that's really what it's about.
Yes.
So there's two parts with Little Great Vida. So there is like the vlog, the social media part, which I'm highlighting stories. And these stories are, you know, in my life, I always felt like the underdog. You know, the person, like I said, who wasn't seen until that teacher saw me in my life. And I was very introverted as a child. And
I can't believe that.
I was.
I can't believe that.
I worked on it. Okay, like I said, it takes work.
It takes work. I'm gonna get closer because I can't see it from here. But but keep explaining, because I'm gonna read some of these comments.
Yeah.
So you had Little Great Vida. So you had the part of the stories. I'm sorry, I got excited.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
So keep
so
on the mission.
You know, these stories are about, like I said, it's Latinos. We are such a diverse community. And like I said, going back to when I noticed it growing up, the injustices and so on. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let me, you know, think about the parts of who I am and tie it into this project and this idea, which is basically, like I said, highlighting all Latino stories, from the grocery store worker to the person who is, you know, working in a small business, woman or man, whoever, to the person who works downtown, you know, to the person who might be a teacher, you know, it's all people. Because I feel like sometimes we overlook it. We overlook seeing. It's about seeing people, and knowing about who they are, really who they are. Because like I said, you know, like you said, we overlook. We have our day to day, you know, doing this, doing that sometimes we overlook it. So it's about recognizing those people. And funny thing is, at Talento Bilingüe, the Houston, it's now Mecca at Talento Bilingüe, the Houston, now that's going to be the place where we're going to be filming it on stage. So we'll be on their stage.
Yay! So talk about that. Yeah. So it's going to be on stage.
It's going to be on stage.
And before you I want to say a couple of comments from Dr. Sergio VIDA.
Oh, hey!
We love Miss Lopez, a great servant spirit. Please support our organization. And Veronica's watching. Veronica, Ronnie Mejia, Frausto, watching from the Heights. We also have Fina Padilla. Hello, Fina. Hi, Fina. Marianne in the back. And so she's in the green room. She's going to get ready to jump on soon.
Yes.
But okay, so now we have stories on stage. Where did that come from? How's that working out? And again, and I want you to close it out with how can we support you to support what's on this beautiful placard behind you too.
Yes. So that's the part of it, is the stories. So be on the lookout for the stories coming on stage, and that of course is on the Little Great Vida page. Instagram and Facebook is the two platforms, and I'm going to put it into YouTube because of the length of timing, you know, that you have with both of those platforms. So YouTube as well. So it's on stage for the story specifically, and then the other side of who I am is giving back. So when I went to Oaxaca, yay, which ties into this, behind me is my experience in Oaxaca, Mexico. Right here. Yes, of course. So this is pretty much just a few pictures of when I went to Oaxaca. And of course, I want to recognize these children and see these children, because when I went, I talked to a local, I stayed in an Airbnb in Mexico, in Oaxaca, and the woman was like, I really am getting called to go to an orphanage and help. And I said, I just feel like this is where I need to go. So she was like, and I said, I looked up a place, and I said, is that, an okay place? She was like, well, people already donate there. So then she mentioned Ciudad de los Niños, and this is the picture. And then I went, and from there, I connected with the director. It just felt like I was in the right moment when I went. So I was like, okay, I need to go to this orphanage. I need to tell their story. And it's like a hole in the wall orphanage. And they were like, well, we need funding. When I went, their building was just like cracks in the wall, it's run down. So I'm working on helping them and helping them build and have a sustainable connection with them in order to help these children, and I always think about, like, who are the people in need, and of course, what a better place to go to than an orphanage where kids, you know, are neglected, you know. And, you know, growing up, I remember being a kid, remembering the traumas that I did have as a kid. In a way, I was neglected, you know, and it comes back to that, and knowing that their voices need to be heard, they need to be seen and recognized. So in part, I am looking for funding and donations. That's why we have the Loteria.
That's right.
That's our first fundraiser.
It was amazing.
And Claudia was our speaker, talked about her story. So thank you.
Yes. And Eddie, you know, I say a big
Eddie
Gonzalez with Teatro Indigo. Yes, he was our co-speaker. We loved it.
Yes. And so Eddie was there, and I know Eddie as well, and he told his story. So I was like, okay, wonderful. And I'm just so excited because I was like, oh, this is just such like serendipity. You know, it's like that kind of moment.
We talked about paths.
Yeah, paths and crossing paths.
Crossing paths because our paths cross on digitally first.
Digitally, and then the NHPO
and then event. Finally in person.
And then in person.
And then here we are.
Yeah.
And all the people to me that have crossed my path have been for a reason. Nothing is ever an accident. I don't. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, people are, and it doesn't even matter to me anymore whether the experience was one that brought me to tears or an experience that brought so much joy. I think it all was supposed to happen.
Yes.
So you being here, me being with you, us crossing paths, whatever we can do.
Yes.
And so I want you to tell.
Thank you.
So what I want you to do is tell people how to follow. What are your social media handles?
Yes.
And how can they follow you so they can connect with you and either time, talent, treasure. Give them they can give you some time. They can give you their talent. Maybe share a story. Or treasure.
Of course.
Some money.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Support the kiddos.
The donations. Yeah. So you can go to the page. So Little Great Vida. It's at Little Great Vida on Instagram, and then Little Great Vida on Facebook. So you can go, and on there's a GoFundMe, and then also you can also do like Cash App Little Great Vida. So you just type in Little Great Vida all together in one, and you can donate there as well. To help these kids in the orphanage and tell their story. I want it to be sustainable. So I just want to continue to help grow and recognize them and their needs and their education. The education system is completely different out there. So it's definitely to recognize them. And of course, on stage, if you're interested in telling your story, you want to be seen, heard. That's what it's about.
Yes.
You can DM me on Little Great Vida Facebook or Little Great Vida on Instagram as well. Or if you know of someone, feel free to let me know as well. All right. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe our time is up, but I want to say a few shout outs to everyone that was listening and watching. Ramon Rincon, a great cause and a fulfilling purpose. So Ramon, Veronica, Dr. Lita, Fina, if you are listening, please share this. And also if you get a chance to go on Cash App, give a donation. And then for the next loteria?
Yes. We're working on the next loteria.
Yeah, we're working on the next loteria. Might be here at this location. I want to also give a big shout out to STC Bells, one of our major sponsors for La Super Comadre Claudia Show, RadioCrystalUSA.com. He is always opening up his doors, so I guess I'll let him know that we're going to open up the doors for your loteria.
Oh my God.
He's going to find out tonight.
Yeah.
Tony Garcia and family, thank you so much for always opening up your doors to the community. We're literally sitting in front of a big map behind the placard because this has now become campaign calling headquarters for a number of people running for office. So don't forget, early voting is going on right now. Don't forget to early vote. You have about 2 weeks. Election day is November the 8th, Tuesday, November the 8th. But make sure to go out and vote. And you can vote anywhere at any location. All right. And another thing too, on Tuesday, November the 1st, on Dia de los Muertos, I have a flyer here from Representative State Rep Cristina Morales. There's going to be a march starting at 5:30 from March to City Hall, and it's remembering the kids that were lost in Uvalde at Robb Elementary. So if you could please make your way on November the 1st. Marcha de los Niños is Dia de los Muertos in honor of los niños that were lost in Uvalde, Texas at Robb Elementary. So please come out and support that. And also please lift your voice by voting. Make your vote count by going out there, taking your family and friends, reminding everyone that in order for changes to happen, it starts with us. It starts with the people that we put into office. And pay attention. Pay attention, especially after what happened in Uvalde, Texas, what happened with the children there. Those families are still waiting for answers right now. We have an administration right now at the state level that is not doing right for those parents that are still needing answers as to what now. And the response that I've heard lately is that parents are now being offered DNA kits. So in case this happens again, you can have your child identified. I don't think that's the answer.
Wow.
Of passing out DNA kits. I think the answer is figuring out what we need to do to make sure this type of weapon is not easily accessible. This is a weapon of war. We're not at war here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to really rethink, why, who, what, follow the money. I want to know who got the contract for those DNA kits. Was it a friend of the governor? I don't know.
Wow.
Was it a compadre of Dan Patrick? I don't know. But coming up with a DNA kit to identify your child, if this happens again, is not the answer. So please go out and vote. Make sure that your vote counts by getting out there, taking your comadre, taking your kids, even though they can't vote yet, but you can take them to the voting booth so they can start seeing the process and how their vote is counted by going in there, getting on that digital screen, pressing those buttons. And it's going to be a long ballot. Please take your water, take your snacks, take a folding chair if you need to, but get ready to stay in that voting booth and go vote all the way down, because we got to make sure that our vote counts, and it doesn't count if we don't show up. So with that, I will end with storytelling. Voting is part of telling our story. So make that story count. Gloria Lopez, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And you are now official super comadre on RadioPresiose.com.
Thank you so much. And I'm like trying not to cry.
Oh,
man.
Let it out.
I know. Like,
Yeah, we're like Chionas.
I told her I was a Llorona, so we're both
Llorona, Chionas, all of that. So don't forget to tune in every day. La Super Comadre Claudia repeats every morning and every evening at 10 o'clock in the morning, and again at 10 o'clock at night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And don't forget to like, follow, share the information. Follow Gloria Lopez, follow her amazing mission, and we'll see you in a little bit because we're going to come back and live stream and the recording of Hey Comadre. All right, my super comadre.
You did great.
And Liliana.
Bye. Thank you.